a couple of years, and I was also at Odell. So excited to, I'm always excited to be able to connect with Cabarrus County folks. But really today, well, with it just being a small group of us, I really do want you all to feel like you can come off mute and ask questions along the way. But really the biggest thing to just take away from today is to share more about our resources, get you all in to the platform, make sure that you can access it so you can get in and explore and see these resources for yourself, share out some implementation ideas, and then just make sure we help answer any questions that you have. So on a scale from 0 to 5, just want to get some idea of how familiar, how comfortable with EverFi. 0 being never heard of it, never used it before. 5 being I've used it now for a couple years. I can do my own training on it. And Leanne, if you could just share out what those answers are, since I can't see the chat.
Yeah, you guys can unmute and shout it out.
Or unmute, that's true too.
Or you can just put it in the chat. Todd Spinell is a 1.
All right.
Szymanski's a 0.
This is Wendy. I have used it. I am currently using it. I don't know that I would say I could give a training on it. I feel pretty much familiar with it.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks, y'all. I appreciate that. That just kind of helps us get an idea of who's used it before and who hasn't. So just a real quick overview of, who EverFi is. We started 12 years ago as a financial literacy resource company to support financial ed in schools. And we since have just completely expanded to all other areas of critical real world skills, social emotional learning, college and career readiness, STEM, academic readiness, health and wellness, and recently diversity, equity, and inclusion. So just, happy to be able to share out our financial education Flagstaff resources with you all today. All of these resources you'll have access to. They are completely free. They always will be free. We are very lucky. We have kind folks like BB&T, Now Truist, Mass Mutual Foundation, and other private and public organizations that underwrite the cost of these resources. So we will always be free, and that's definitely something that has set us apart. So why EverFi? EverFi, we're able to come to the table and tackle some of the most impactful issues that our students and even us as educators are going through, may potentially go through as human beings, and hopefully help drive change in real world solutions. So you can see some of the problem sets in today's world, just in terms of retirement and savings and student loans and financial literacy, college and career readiness, next generational skills. So obviously, there's a big problem set out there that we hope to help solve and support you all as educators with these resources. You'll also notice that the courses offer a holistic approach at addressing and fostering these 8 different dimensions of student wellness. So obviously for you all as civics and economics teachers, we'll be able to dive in and get a deeper look into the financial and occupational side of wellness and how these resources can help support your students. Just another great connection across the board, just really showing our connections in our different suites that we have available. We'll dive in here in a moment and take a look at these financial ed resources, but just important to point out and pay attention to just some of the interwebbed connections that are made through our resources. So, you might be asking, well, how does EverFi's resources relate to, social emotional learning and financial literacy, and substance abuse and bullying and compassion and college and career readiness. So for example, it might be odd to have a financial literacy course mixed in with some vaping and prescription drug and alcohol misuse and bullying prevention. However, we do know that a person's financial wellness and their perceived socioeconomic status has been found to be directly correlated to mental health and mental well-being, which can be also connected to disorders such as substance abuse. And we do know that a person's financial or a student's financial social status could make them the target or even engage in bullying situations. So just like to kind of show how, all of these different bucket areas that we have to offer, they are connected and intertwined in some way, shape, or form. Just some other statistics, EverFI's impact. We were excited last year. We hit over 3.1 million learners who used a resource. We currently have over 245,000 teachers that are using an EverFI resource and just continue to grow year after year with our schools and our financial institution partners who are jumping on board to help underwrite the cost. And then some additional background information. What else does this sponsorship cover? So not only will you have access to the resources, both digital and offline, you will also have any ongoing support. I myself am the schools manager here in the Charlotte area, so you will always have access to my information if you need any questions along the way. And then also any opportunities, scholarship opportunities, now in this world of virtual classroom visits instead of actual in-person classroom visits, you will have access to any type of events that these sponsors do put on. And I will in just a moment be sharing out a current scholarship contest that is going on with our Fifth Third Finance Academy. So I'll dive into a little bit more about that and share with you all how to get access for that for your students. And then last but not least, we do also have an impact report. We send the district a midterm and then an end of year impact report that will just show overall learning gains and district data of usage over the year. So let's go ahead. We'll jump into our financial literacy suite of resources. You will have access to all of these courses once you jump into to the platform here, but I'll just strictly go over, obviously, these financial education courses that we have. Two new ones that have rolled out this school year. So Wendy, for you who have used EverFI and currently using EverFI resource, excited to be able to share out the money moves and the pathways course, which both of them are aligned perfectly with the EFP course. So again, just excited to be able to roll these out and share more. I'll dive in here in just a moment with some of those standards alignments. Okay, so this just paints a pretty picture here of really our entire suite of resources. Our original EverFI High School Financial Literacy course, that was our original course. It was revamped and got an enhancement last school year. And then over the past couple of years, we've rolled out our Venture Entrepreneurship Expedition course, our Marketplaces, which is all about investing. And then we have our two newest resources, our Modern Banking and Identity Protection called Money Moves, and then Financing Higher Education and Consumer Debt, which is our Pathways course. So I'll start out here with our venture course. This is actually our Fifth Third Financial Academy sponsors this course, and they are currently rolling out a scholarship. I'll show you in just a moment on how you can get access to that. But in case you have never used this course before, Venture, it was created and designed to teach students to think entrepreneurially about business and also about life. There's 4 lessons or 4 modules that students will jump into. They'll develop a personalized plan for their individual business that they come up with. It will include financing, marketing, team building, market research, and also they will go through and design an e-portfolio, which is like a roadmap for their career success, which is exciting. So there is two opportunities in the fall, one in the fall and one in the spring that Fifth Third is offering for scholarship contest. I included this link in this slideshow presentation. So all you will have to do is when you get this, you can click directly on this link and you will get directed into the scholarship page. But basically what it is it is a way for students to apply for a 2,500 529 college savings scholarship. Fifth Third will pick 28 student winners. The deadline for first semester, there actually is still time. So when we get back from break, if this is something that you want to immediately use and do with students, all they need to do is they need to complete one lesson within the venture course and then fill out the scholarship essay, which again will be located on that link there that I have on this slideshow. So really easy, they can go through, answer one of those essay questions, and then make sure that they also complete at least one of those lessons in the venture course. And the deadline is January 15th. If you want to go ahead and utilize that. If not, there is also a second opportunity in the spring, and that deadline is May 28th. So. Any questions with that? I know I'm kind of going through this again. Feel free to take yourself off mute. Happy to help answer any questions.
Yeah, if you guys put questions in the chat, I can answer them that way, or just since it's, again, just such a small group, just feel free to unmute and chime in. Perfect.
Just where can I find the scholarship information?
There is, let me do this. I'm going to click on this link. I hate to do this, Leanne. I don't know if you can see this at all. Can you somehow, or I guess I could email it to you real quickly, and if you want to copy and paste that into the chat box. But you could probably, I wonder if you could even Google financeacademy.53 for Fifth Third.com /scholarship / the hashtag or #, contest -section.
You can also we can just Google Fifth Third scholarship.
Okay.
It should come right up too.
Yep, I was going to say it should. When you Google that, it should pop up, but just in case. Yep. So this will be this is where you'll want to go and direct students to go to. It has the submission form right on here. It has the questions that they can choose from. They just choose one of those questions and they just type in their essay there, 300 to 500 words. Make sure they put in their information and their teacher's information, and they can submit that. All right, so let's see here. Moving on, just wanted to kind of, share out. I know you all are the experts with standards and with, getting ready, for this new EPF course. And I'm sure you've been diving in and all that good stuff in preparing. But I have a few slides on here that just, show you the transition from the CTE to the EPF, as well as the current civics and economic standards to the EPF standards, and also how that correlates and aligns to these financial literacy courses that we have here at EverFI. So right here, you could just see a former CTE standard and how that relates to the proposed new EPF standard of understanding money, management skills. And then on this slide here, again, you can see the transition from the current standard there, civics and economic standards to then the proposed EPF standard, explain how education, income, career, and life choices impact an individual's financial plan and goals. So again, I know you all are experts on the standards. That's definitely not something that I taught. So I'm sure you already are, aware of getting prepared for those standard changes. But here is an overview of that Flagstaff EverFi High School Financial Literacy course. It's our original founding resource that we started. It underwent, like I was sharing with you all before, a bit of a facelift last school year. You can think of this course as like a 1.0 to our other new courses that we're coining as our EverFi 2.0 financial lit courses, because they do expand off of topics within this EverFi course. So as you know, if you've used this course, it's sponsored by BB&T, now Truist for years. Overall, it walks through and demonstrates for students how to make wise financial decisions to promote and protect their own financial well-being. You'll notice that there are pre and post assessments in these courses, so you can truly capture their learning gains from when they started or going into a particular lesson, and then when they are doing their post assessment and finishing up a particular lesson. So you can see the course topics that are outlined there below, the banking basics all the way through. And this course is also available in Spanish, so students will be able to go in and they can select their language settings to change if they would like.
Jess, can you speak on how to change the language settings? I didn't know that this was available in Spanish as well.
Yeah, so in the students dashboard, what will happen is when they jump in, and once I get into the platform, I can show you what that looks like. But in the upper right-hand corner of their screen, there is a language setting. They can click on their name. It will give them a drop-down menu, and it will say language setting, and then they can choose then to go back and forth between English or Spanish. Yeah, great question. I can show you once I dive in where that's located, but it'll be in the upper right hand of their screen, underneath their name if they hover over their name or click on their name. I believe they need to click on that. But yeah, great question. I'll make sure to walk you through that. So again, just examples of the alignment. So you can see the sample of there on the left-hand side, a standard of income and education. And then you can also see on the right-hand side an example in the module 2, which is income and employment, the alignment there and how that aligns to the new EPF content. I'm going to keep rolling on through to these next financial literacy courses. Again, feel free to come off mute if there's something you want me to clarify. Marketplaces, another course that is a part of our financial literacy suite. We know understanding how markets work and knowing how to participate in them is super important and critical for students' long-term wealth creation. But for many students, they don't understand or might not know how all that works. So Marketplaces was designed to help equip students with a basic understanding of how the financial market works and also the confidence to participate in it as well. So they'll go through and they'll learn, blend some of the macroeconomic concepts with investing topics, learn how the government's role, corporation, the government's role, as well as corporations and individuals come together to participate in marketplaces. So you can see again the course topics that are outlined there below, pre and post assessment as well. And then do want to make sure that I jump in and show you all these 2 new resources. So first, we've got our Pathways course. It is our financing higher education for high school. Again, one of those 2.0 courses that stems from some of the topic areas that they'll learn in that initial EverFi high school course. The intent was to develop students to be informed consumers and to prepare them to make smart financial decisions when considering the different options on how to best finance higher education. So you'll see there below the course topics that they will go through. I do have standards alignment as well. You can see here an example of the money and credit management standard and how that relates to lesson 5 of pathways, where students will learn how to repay loans responsibly and the commitment to that, as well as the consequences of what happens if you default. All right, last but not least, and then we will jump into the platform so that you all will have a chance to dig in and explore these. But the Money Moves, again, that new course that was rolled out, excited for our partnership with Zell to bring this course to Cabarrus High Schools. It's all about how to navigate finances online in this online banking world that we live in. So similar to the other financial literacy courses, it's interactive, simulation based, but they'll go through and they'll learn what it looks like to use peer-to-peer transaction apps, how to be safe and responsible with those, how to deposit a check for mobile deposit using a phone. You know, what does that look like? Identify different ways to look out for identity theft and fraudulent scams and how those happen, and then simply just how to manage their money online and through the different bank accounts that they have set up. So again, you can see the course topics that are outlined there below. Excited for this course and in the sponsorship with Zell with rolling this out. So any questions before we jump into getting started on how to access these? Just want to make sure.
Jess, Wendy had a question earlier, and I said that we just, so you have it on your mind when we look at the student view, but if there's a way to actually turn off the read aloud option.
To turn off the read aloud. There should be, and Peter, correct me if I'm wrong, there should be like a play and a pause for reading out loud. You could also mute a site, like if, for example, if I'm using Google Chrome like this, I can actually right click and I can mute the site as well to prevent a course, you know, or the music or sound from playing. And I don't know, Peter, if you have anything additional to add to that.
Yeah, the only thing I'll add is that while doing exactly what Jess said, we'll mute the sound. The thing that will not change is the length of time that a student is required to stay on the page. So each of those pages has like a pre-designated amount of time that corresponds to what that audio narration is. So even if the student like muted the tab, it would still make them stay there for like 30 seconds as an example, if that makes sense.
Yes, I get what you're saying there. Thank you. That's what I had them to do when they asked. I said, just mute the tab or turn your speakers down. And then if you need me in Teams, just message me in the chat. And that worked fine. But I was just curious since they literally just happened to ask yesterday. Thank you.
Perfect. So I'm gonna.
I do have one question. This is
Eric.
With all the different financial courses, is there like a certain way that you should kind of use them? Is the one course should kind of go first and then a second and then a third? So like a succession of courses, like which one should you start off with first? I'm thinking that like the original one, that EverFI course, the pathways, it seems is about higher education. So would you do that one maybe last, or like how would you use these in succession?
Yeah, I mean that is a great question. You know, and Peter, feel free to chime in. I know that, I mean it's it's pretty flexible. I think it all depends on truly your scope and sequence on, in terms of how you're teaching and the curriculum docs that you're all using. Like I said, those two new ones have been set up to kind of be an extension of that EverFi original financial literacy course. But I don't think it's the end all be all that, you have to use that one first before you go into any of the other ones. I don't know.
I'd agree. I do think the EverFi financial literacy is definitely the first one I would do. And then I would think about venture and marketplaces as like interchangeable in terms of the order. You could do marketplaces first, you could do venture first, but they're kind of similar conceptually. They're both about more micro and macroeconomics. And then money moves and pathways, again, kind of interchangeable. You can do them kind of as an extension of that one. But I definitely do think the 1.0 kind of precedes everything.
Great question.
Excellent. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
No problem.
So Eric's question then makes me have a question. I only have experience with the EverFi financial literacy. But with some of the other things like the banking basics that is in financial literacy, what do you think about maybe mixing and matching some of the courses? Maybe not, because my kids this semester, they won't finish the financial literacy as a whole course. We just don't have the time left to finish it. But is there anything maybe in the modern banking that maybe I could have them, that you could recommend having them do maybe one of the modules within there as opposed to the whole course? Or would you recommend that just course by course?
I can talk to this, Jess.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I definitely think you can think about them like in a modular way. So I think makes complete sense to go like, I want to do the savings and investing lesson from high school financial literacy, but then I want my students to go over to like peer-to-peer payments in the modern banking course, almost like playlisting them. I think that's definitely something we are going to do and provide some guidance for the new EPF standards for next year. I think for the remainder of this school year, as you think about just the civics and economics course as it exists, we kind of are leaving that up to school districts to decide and think about, and teachers to decide too. I know that we want to provide some more direct guidance next year around the EPF course. So this is a good year to like experiment with that.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, great questions. So we want to make sure that y'all can get in successfully. So if you have not done so already, I'm going to make my screen a little bit bigger here so we can see this. There are just 2 simple steps if you have not done this already to get into your EverFi, and that's simply to click into Clever and then to click on that EverFi app. So simple steps. Your students, they will also do the exact same thing to get into their EverFi. They will click into Clever. They will click into EverFi. Now they will only be able to see the courses that you as their teacher assign to them. So, they cannot see every single course, on their screen. So, we'll go through here in just a moment of how to set up a class so that you're very specific and making sure that they are going to the correct course or courses that you would like them to use. So 2 simple steps there in Cabarrus. To get yourself on, and then also to get your students on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to exit out of this slideshow so I can actually jump into the teacher dashboard and be able to just kind of walk you through a little bit of some of the key tabs and make sure that you become familiar with each of these each part of this, the platform here. So when you first jump in, if you have never used EverFi before, you're going to see this that says no classes yet. Classes you create will appear here. So the first thing you'll want to do, you can either go in and let's do this because I'm actually on my classes tab. Sorry. If you do not have any courses, it will show up that let's get started, add a course to your dashboard. But to see the entire course catalog, you can either click on that catalog tab, very self-explanatory, or click onto add course. So either one, that will get you into the course catalog so you can start picking and choosing which courses you want to add. I'll just simply go into the catalog quick so you can see how it's laid out. Very self-explanatory. Scroll down, you can find the financial education band of courses, and you can then see here your left and your right arrows. It will get you those financial education courses. So you can see I have already some added. If you do see request instead of add, same thing, go ahead and request that. That's fine. But you'll want to try to get those high school financial literacy courses on your dashboard so that the next time you go to log in to EverFi, they'll already be up there ready to go. So again, that's where I am there in the catalog tab. So I'll just quickly go through. There's different ways that you can interact with these courses. So once you jump in, you'll notice you can create your class, which is great. But first, I highly recommend, if you have never jumped into an EverFi course, you can demo the course as if you were a student by clicking on that View Course tab, and it will open up a separate tab, and there you'll be right into the demo version where you can start going through as if you were a student. So Wendy, to answer your question about where students will be able to control their language settings, up here on the right-hand side of their screen, they'll want to click on their name, and they can click on language settings, and they can see here how they can click from English to Spanish. So again, they'll go to their name, click on that, and they'll scroll to language settings.
Thank you.
No problem. So again, you can see here, you can jump in to a lesson and start that right away. It will keep track of students' progress, so they can jump in and leave off from their last activity that they left off at last time they were in EverFi. So it will save their progress from that last activity. And then they will also be able to see their pre and post assessment scores as well. So not only will you have access to their scores, students will also see what they are getting on their assessments. So all right, let me go back to...
Jess, I have a question with the assessments.
Yes, ma'am.
I look at the reports. I feel like I am seeing just the end results, that I can't see pre-test results.
Yep. So the great question. So you will have access, and see, I don't have a classroom set up in this particular demo. I can pull one up here in just a moment and walk you through what that looks like, Wendy. But basically what you would do is, you know how you normally have your students, you see it as a whole. What you can do is off to the side, there's a way for you to view individual student data. When you go into view, you'll be able to see their timestamp of pre-assessment when they finished it, and then their post-assessment when they finish that.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. See, I like you're asking all of like the detailed questions because you're like, I'm in it, I'm on it, I'm used to it. I like it. Perfect. So, yep. And so just to kind of piggyback off of that, obviously you'll go to the reports tab. Once you have students that are going through these lessons, you'll have your classroom students that will show up. Obviously in the demo version that I'm in right now, I don't have any set up, so you won't see student information, but yours will populate once they start going through those courses. So I will show you now how to push these out to students. So now you've got a game plan. Great. I want my students to have access to these financial resources. So I'm ready for them to go ahead and get started on their end of things. So what you'll want to do is you can find the course that you want to push out. You're going to click that Create Class tab. And then you're going to notice Cabarrus County has clever integration, which makes life easier for you all. So you can go ahead and choose your section or sections that you want assigned that particular course. So once you do that, you'll just follow the rest of the drop-down menu questions, like your start date, the class size, what's the grade level. And then if you want to add additional courses, so you want them to have more than just that EverFi course, you can click on that Add Courses tab. But once you're ready, let's see if this will work here. You'll see I just hit that Create tab. I get a green bar across the screen that says that my course, my class has been created. So again, you'll notice the name of the class you set up, any courses that you assign to it, and then you should see a check mark that says Clever Integrated. So the first thing that you might want to try to do is notice, hey, are my students in there yet? With the Clever integration, students will auto enroll, which means when they go into EverFi from their own device, as soon as they jump into that, EverFi, their information will begin populating under the Students tab. So don't be alarmed if at first you're setting up your classes and right afterwards you go to click into Students and you don't see any information. They will show once they register on their device. So, and again, you can always intertwine, go back to courses, go back to your classes, go back to your students, go back to reports. All of those tabs are going to be right there for you to navigate through. I'll go ahead and just shift into some implementation ideas. I want to make sure that you all have access to this now as you're kind of thinking and brainstorming and you know, planning out, you know, where EverFi might fit into your curriculum plans. In this slideshow that you all will get, I included a bit.ly link. And Leanne, feel free to also put in that bit.ly link in the chat. But the bit.ly link here, you can see once you enter that in, you will have access to some extension guides and additional lessons. So what does that look like? So I'm going to click on mine and show you just a few resources that you might want to look at before you start getting started with your students. The first link on here, you're going to see LMS implementation information. Highly suggest clicking in there. And since you all use Canvas, they're in Cabarrus County, there is a video that will walk through and show you how you can integrate your EverFi courses into Canvas for students to use. And then there's also down here a master deck, which is to our toolkit on how to utilize EverFi with the different learning management systems. So there's also step-by-step guides on how to utilize this with Canvas.
Hey, Jess, can you show me the bit.ly again? I apparently typed it in wrong.
Oh yeah, you're good. This I believe is an L, not an actually, could that be?
I think it's a capital I.
Is it a capital I? Okay,
all right.
that's
so give me a second to try this one in the chat.
Yeah, no problem. Sometimes the font doesn't distinguish between an uppercase I
so we
and
think
a
it's an
lowercase.
uppercase I. Let's see what happens there if I click on that. Still says something wrong. All right, Leanne. https://bit.ly/3R9F. Let's try lowercase l again.
Try lowercase L.
R.
Still not? Okay. Let me see. Let's see if I can change this font. Looks like a capital I.
Looks like a capital I to me.
Yes, ma'am.
HTTPS.
Just double check. Yeah.
And the HTTPS might be what's throwing it off. I don't know if you need that for a bit.ly.
Yeah, maybe just start with bit.ly instead of the HT. Yeah.
All right.
I never thought about that.
And then it's 3R9F capital I KR. All right. It's in the chat. It's not clickable, but if somebody wants to like maybe, yeah, in order to make it clickable, I have to put it into I have to put the HTTPS in. But yeah, if you just cut and paste that out, I'm on that document now. So I don't know why
Okay.
it wasn't
Okay.
working for me before, but yeah, if you just cut and paste the link I dropped in the chat, drop it into your web browser,
Mhm.
it'll load.
Perfect. And let me know if y'all are experiencing any issues with it. But I wanted to make sure that I just showed you all what this looks like, because really, I mean, I say this when I was in the classroom, like it would have been so helpful to have something like this as I'm rolling out and using a resource. So again, that link, when you jump into there, that first link that pops up is that LMS. Highly suggest, spending some time in there if you want to kind of learn how to integrate that within Canvas. Another link to make sure that you all have access to this financial education and college career readiness resources. What that's going to do, it's going to bring you down here to our suite of courses. So you can see these are our elementary and middle school courses. But if you scroll down, we have any additional lesson plans, guided notes, post-assessment answers, anything that you might need as a teacher as you roll out these resources can be found and linked here. So definitely spend some time. If you are a teacher that you definitely would like to use EverFi resources to continue to expand those topic areas that you're already teaching in your civics and economics class, feel free to jump in and use these lesson plans that are attached to each of these. Great way to extend what students are learning in those modules. And it will just give you some additional ideas of how to use it in your class. So definitely, spend some time in here when you're, navigating through the resources and mapping out how to use that. So again, if you continue to scroll, you'll see the marketplaces and venture are down here. So we are currently in the process of getting those newer course lessons in here. So that's one of my goals, is to just continue to update this and make sure that we get those new course guides and lessons embedded within there for you all as they're being rolled out. So any questions with the supplements? Hopefully that's beneficial for you all. Another just fun way that we've heard and seen teachers using EverFi, I like to show this slide. Just gives you some additional, ideas of how to incorporate EverFi. We hear a lot of teachers that, use EverFi for something like they might call like Ever Fridays or Money Mondays, or something play on words with with financial literacy. Just a way that they incorporate EverFi into something fun like that. Extra credit, teachers, provide extra credit for students who not just complete all of those, but actually get a passing score in all of the modules. So I don't know, just again, some ideas of how you can incorporate really any of those financial courses into your lessons. So again, you'll have access to this entire deck, so you can go back and take a look at these examples. So let me just make sure I covered everything. And any additional questions, clarifications? Looks like everyone was able to get into that supplemental resource document, so that's great.
Not a question, but just with the resource that you just shared with us, it looked very helpful to have that as you're teaching. Very much so.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. I agree with you, especially coming from a former teacher. And, I did a lot of Google Classroom stuff when I was in the classroom. So having these things that I could just simply copy, paste, and throw into, my learning management system is just super helpful.
I agree. Thank you.
No problem. All right, y'all. Well, I'm available to hang out for a little bit if people are still going through and they want to, ask any additional questions. I will also, my email address, I'll put this up here on the screen. I'm always available.
I just put it in the chat for you too, Jess.
Thanks, Leanne. Thank you. Yep. And so I am more than happy to help answer.
Oh, no, I didn't. I put it at Cabarrus. Oh, it's Friday.
It is
Sorry,
Friday.
guys. Ignore that first one. She is not at Cabarrus anymore. She is.
I am not at Cabarrus
EverFI
anymore.
Yeah, I looked at it and I was like, nope, I did not put it in the chat. I put it in there wrong. Hashtag I'm on the struggle bus.
I hear ya. I hear ya.
So, well, does anybody have any questions for us? And before I wrap it up and everything, you guys feeling comfortable with the tool?
No, that was really awesome. I appreciate. I'm glad I came today. I really didn't really know much about EverFi, and it seems like this would really be helpful as those new courses come out. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
You're welcome. Yeah, and thank you for coming on a Friday afternoon, right before break. We did record this, and so I am going to. I've already sent Peter, so Jess, you'll have it. The health and PE one. I put it on YouTube because if you're not in the stream, you can't see it.
Perfect.
Oh, hi, Susan Spinelli. So, Jess, do you know Susan?
I do. Hold on.
Yeah,
Yep.
she says hi, and then she also says hi to me.
I know. I miss my Cabarrus County folks.
We're the best bunch right here.
I know.
But yeah, so I've recorded this and I'll put it in the CNI Canvas course under your district PLC resources, so that if you wanted to share this information with someone who's in your PLC, we are hoping to repeat this probably in February. But I wanted to get this out there now just because I know that we're rolling to the end. We just went back to 100% remote, and you guys as civics teachers have probably gotten into your economics, and this was just a great resource for you to have. And yes, definitely pass it along, Todd, to Hickory Ridge. And I'll push another email to all my social studies teachers, letting them know that this video is up and in the CNI course as well, so that if they want to watch it. I don't have anything else unless you guys have any lingering questions. All right. Well, as always, as I tell you every time we meet, you guys are the chosen people. All teachers are. I am thankful and in awe every day of what you do. It does not go unnoticed. So you make sure that over the next 2 weeks while you're on break, you take time, you disconnect, turn off email, just spend time with family, friends, wear your masks, obviously stay safe and stay healthy, but take some much needed time and rest. And I will see you in the new year. Let 2021 be better than 2020. So we'll see you guys later. Thank you for being here on a Friday. And you should have your niece's credit in, a few hours, I would hope. If for some reason it's not showing after a week, let me know. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Have a wonderful time. Peter and Jess, thank you. Thank you so much. And I will see you both Monday morning, bright and early.
Sounds good. Thanks, y'all. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Happy holidays, everybody.
Thank you. Rock that onesie, Wendy.
Yes, absolutely. I'm all about the comfy onesies and being
That's
warm.
right.
But Jess, also thank you to you. Every time I have an EverFi question, you are the one who answers me. So I thank her for that as well.
Yay. Yep, I love EverFi.
I do too. I definitely do.
You have a great break.
You
relax, and I'll see you in the new year.
All right.
All right. Bye, friends.
Bye.